Up next on Eco Company.
We're headed to my favorite place, the lunchroom.
What's really different about this kitchen versus other kitchens is we have real food. It's all fresh. Most schools have no fresh product like that.
One chef's mission to change the way we eat.
Plus, fashion that gives new meaning to the word eye candy.
I have a sad obsession for sweets, yeah.
This is one artist that appeals to our sweet tooth.
So there's a lot of work that goes into making what you purchase and then not much thought into what's going to happen to it afterwards.
Then we're headed out to the farm.
We do tomatoes, melons, peppers, squash, eggplant, figs, apricots, and cherries, onions, and garlic.
We'll see how some fruits and veggies are being grown sustainably.
And grab your apron.
Every individual, born everywhere, it deserves the right to healthy food.
It's Cooking 101. And on the menu, it's farm fresh food, of course.
Eco Company
starts now. Hi everyone, and welcome to Eco Company. I'm Jelena.
And I'm Brendan, and this is the show that's giving you the inside scoop to going green.
And today, we're talking about food.
Or food byproducts.
So here's the question of the day. How green is your school's cafeteria?
Does it still serve packaged food and frozen pizzas? Well, that's pretty common.
Jordan gets the inside scoop from one chef who's trying to change all of that.
It's lunchtime at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School in Berkeley, California. But look closely and you'll see this isn't your average school cafeteria.
What's really different about this kitchen versus other kitchens is we have real food. So when we're looking at zucchini being cut and carrots being cut, eggs being cut, onions being cut, it's all fresh. Most schools have no fresh product like that.
Meet Chef Ann Cooper, the renegade lunch lady. She's cleaned up the menu for thousands of students in this district.
We don't have any frozen or processed food now, so we don't have any. 3.5 years ago when I came, it was all frozen and processed. Chicken nuggets, Extremo burritos, grilled cheese sandwiches, corn dogs, all of it frozen, all of it pre-packaged. Now everything's made from scratch, everything's fresh, no hormones or antibiotics in the hamburgers or hot dogs, no trans fats, no high fructose corn syrup, almost no refined sugar or refined flour. It's really, everything's made from scratch, fresh, with as local ingredients as possible.
Her goal is to green up the food on our plate.
Cheese?
That mission includes changing a few staples.
Yeah, even though we do serve things like pizza, in the elementary schools it's served once a week, and middle and high schools served twice a week, whereas most schools would serve it every single day. And we do serve nachos once a month in the elementary schools, but they're totally deconstructed. It's baked flaxseed and fresh beans. There's beans on the stove right now, and we serve only brown rice. If you see lunch today, it'll be brown rice, fresh cooked beans. It's a little different. We try and deconstruct it to make it look differently so kids really can understand not only the taste difference, but how something really should look if it's well prepared. Most of what's organic, it happens to be on the salad bars, and we have salad bars in every school every day.
Salad bars sound great, sure, but what's the deal with organics anyway?
The reason to go organic, which it's a lot harder for schools to go organic, really is about serving children less chemicals. When we consume conventional produce, the conventional produce industry uses 1.2 billion pounds of pesticides every year on the food we eat. That means you and every single kid in your class and all of us consume 5 pounds. If I took a 5-pound bag of flour sugar, that pile right here would be the chemicals we eat. So that's why organic's so important.
That doesn't sound tasty, but this does.
And this is the pizza that we make. Whole wheat crust. We grind our own cheese and make our own sauce.
So wow, what is this? What are you stirring?
It's a big batch. It's actually 40 gallons of cheese sauce.
Why isn't it orange?
Well, you know that really orange cheese sauce you think of with nachos and stuff? It's not real cheese, it's fake cheese, and it's got colors and additives and stuff in it, so this is all natural.
Wow. You know what else is cool? Just steps outside their cafeteria. They have a garden where they grow their own herbs.
Our garden here is an herb garden just for the cooks, and the kids can walk through it, but we have all of, or a lot of the herbs that we use in our cooking. And then we have some beneficial flowers too to bring in beneficial bugs. So we have all our herbs right here when we go out and pick them.
And all of this is part of a school lunch program Cooper hopes to expand across the U.S.
It's really important that we tackle these issues. It's really important that we care. It's really important we work with young people to educate around these issues and to come up with a way to feed every child in America healthy food every day.
A lot of us have a sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we sneak some candy after that school lunch.
Yeah, but don't throw away those wrappers.
You guessed it. We found something to do with that trash.
Jessica met up with one high school teacher who's turning trash into art, one candy wrapper at a time.
It's fashion that gives new meaning to the word sweet tooth.
I have a sad obsession for sweets.
Charlotte Kruk is an artist and an educator in San Jose, California. By day, she's giving her students lessons in recycled art. By night, she's designing wearable fashions made from candy wrappers and more.
Taking something that's not designed to be worn, right, a piece of trash, and then wearing it sort of gives it a second life and gives it a second meaning as well.
We're checking out her studio to see what she's been up to.
Hi, Charlotte. Hey, Jessica, come on in. Welcome to the Peppermint Palace.
Wow, look at all these amazing pieces. So I guess this catches my eye first. Can you explain what's going on here?
This is a Matador Jacket. All of these are made out of porcelain clay, and it goes along with Matador pants and complete with the vest.
Oh wow, look at this hat. Ooh, maybe I can try this on.
Yeah, go for it. There she is.
Yeah.
She's a natural matador.
Ready for that bowl.
Krug started creating her eye candy in 1994.
What I was thinking about was how, as a consumer society, we make these elaborate packages and then we reduce them to trash, essentially. So all of it is in the enticing, in the purchase. So there's a lot of work that goes into making what you purchase and then not much thought into what's going to happen to it afterwards. These are all cardboard boxes. You know, the candy comes as a very tiny little package with cardboard. It's kind of like, what can you do with a recycled cardboard box? You know, how can you wear that?
So just where is she stashing her supplies anyway?
Wow, so this is where you've been keeping all those candy wrappers.
Yeah, not just this drawer, but all these other drawers as well.
Wow, that is a lot of candy.
It's a lot of organization, it's a lot of collecting.
How do you clean all these? I mean, you don't want any wrappers that have a bit of chocolate on the inside.
And I don't want any ants in my studio. I definitely don't. So what I do is when I take my bag of collection and I kind of dump it out on my studio table and start to sort everything, I wipe them between layers of wet terry cloth. And so they get a little cleaning before they go into the bag, and then there they wait until something miraculous happens in my head.
She gets some help in the candy wrapper department from these guys, her students at Lynbrook High School in San Jose.
Well, I have a box on my desk in my classroom, and it says, "Recycle your unripped candy packaging here."
In fact, in her class, it's not art if it's not recycled.
How did you know that you had type 6 plastic? In my classroom, I try to do a lot of work with recycled materials, and essentially what I don't, want to be making or having my students make are things that they're going to throw away. So if we're starting with a recycled material and it's giving the work a second use, that already starts off on a better foot than just producing a bunch of stuff that's going to wind up in the landfill.
It's cheap, you don't need to buy anything, it's recyclable. And yeah, you can make anything you want out of recycled stuff, really.
What's not to love? Cool art and helping Mother Earth, too.
We really need to be careful in what we do, so recycle, try your best, and it's easy to just throw things wherever you want, but if you take that extra minute to just find a recycling bin, it really helps.
So from the classroom, to her studio, and her finished pieces of wearable art. We'd say Krug's getting her message out to the masses.
We'd like to know what creative things you're doing with recycled stuff.
Tell us in a video and upload it to eco-company.tv.
Still ahead.
I mean, recently I feel like food has just sort of sprung onto like the national consciousness, and that's kind of like the new thing if you're an activist. It's great because it's such an important issue.
Food activism? We'll find out what they mean by food justice.
But first,
I don't want to eat sprays, I don't want to smell sprays, so here I am, growing beautiful tomatoes without spraying them.
we're headed out to an organic farm to see how fruits and veggies are grown sustainably. More Eco Company is next.
When was the last time you stopped and really thought about what you're eating?
Or whether it's been grown with pesticides.
Lately, we hear a lot about organic fruits and vegetables grown without chemicals.
They're not only good for you, they're good for the planet too. And Jessica visited a farm to see for herself.
$2 per watermelon.
It's farm to the market fresh produce, ripe for the picking.
Thank you very much.
But before all these tomatoes, melons, and more get here, they have to pass go here at the Peach Farm in Esparto, California. Megan George and her brother Ryan both help out at the family-owned farm, which grows just about everything.
We do tomatoes, melons, peppers, squash, eggplant, figs, apricots, and cherries. Onions and garlic. I think that's pretty much it.
Their number one crop, tomatoes. In fact, judging from all these boxes, you could call this a tomato lover's paradise.
People come and they tell us about all their tomatoes, but they don't have all the variety that we have, so that's why they come.
So these are a ton of tomatoes.
Yeah, we have a lot of variety here. We have a lot of pretty ones, like this one's a vintage wine. It's a striped tomato.
That's pretty.
It's really good.
I see a bunch of little cute orange ones over here.
Yeah, those are really sweet. These are the Sun Golds. They're one of my favorites. They're really good.
So what's your ultimate favorite kind?
My ultimate favorite is the Cherokee Purple, which is this one.
Yeah.
It's more acidic, but it has a lot of flavor.
Every last one of them was grown sustainably. To find out what that means, we headed out to the vines with Dad, Ed George.
Now you like growing sustainably. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Well, for me, it means we don't do any spraying of any kind, whether it's pesticides or herbicides. As you can see, we got plenty of weeds to prove that we don't spray.
Other things they do: use drip irrigation to conserve water, and instead of chemical fertilizers, they rotate crops to create a rich, natural soil.
We do everything really the way it should be done, I think. When I was a kid growing up, I never liked smelling the sprays. So when I got older and started doing my own thing, I just said, you know what? I don't want to eat sprays. I don't want to smell sprays. So here I am, growing beautiful tomatoes without spraying them.
The same is true for these beauties.
Smell that, Jessica?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's goddess. That's called goddess.
Melons are the Peach Farm's other big crop. Workers comb the fields picking only the ones that are just right.
Look at the sugar on that, Jessica. Huh? Is that sweet? Be careful you don't sniff that sugar. It'll stay on your nose for a while.
Yeah.
You smell that? That's the ambrosia. Look at that sugar. See that?
Sugar draws the bugs too, but George doesn't mind.
You see this melon here? That one's been bitten like crazy by the bugs. And so that tells you that's a sweet melon, because the bugs, they got a sense that we don't have, and if they go after one melon that much, it has to be sweet.
So they don't bug you at all, those bugs?
No, the bugs, they don't bug us at all. You know why? Because we have good bugs and bad bugs, but they all get along.
Even so, what are they doing to make sure bugs aren't running amok, destroying their crop?
There is no need to spray. If you sprayed, you'd kill off all the beneficials. You'd actually end up having more problems with the bad pests.
Back in the vines, beneficials like spiders keep harmful bugs from eating all the tomatoes.
This is like growing them in your garden. If you're going to grow them, we just do it on a big level, but why would you spray something and have to eat that spray later? It just, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a recipe for chemical-free produce, and these guys say they wouldn't do it any other way.
Everything tastes better, I think, when you know that it's better for your body. And a lot of people like that. The customers, they like that. They don't like it when you use sprays and pesticides.
It's good. I mean, it's the future. Everyone wants good local produce, you know? They don't want to pay money for not good things, so it's the way of the future.
Makes me want to dig into a delicious sweet melon.
Oh, those tomatoes looked pretty good to me.
Oh yeah. Next up, we go into the kitchen to get some pointers.
We got to meet some farmers, learn about be reminded about how labor intensive the work is, some of their challenges.
More Eco Company is coming up.
We may not all have the same classes, but we do have one thing in common.
Lunch.
Settle down, big guy.
Oh, come on, we're talking about my favorite subject.
Well then, this next story is gonna make you drool. We're heading into the kitchen, and it's not just for your average cooking lesson.
It's Cooking Class 101. Only in this kitchen, it's about more than learning how to dice and slice. These chefs are learning about organic and sustainable food, and why everyone should have access to it.
Recently, I feel like food has just sort of sprung onto like the national consciousness, and that's kind of like the new thing if you're an activist, is like be a food activist, which is great because it's such an important issue.
That issue is food justice. Kitty Bolte and Maya Salcedo are youth activists.
Every individual born everywhere, it deserves the right to healthy food and the access to healthy food. So food justice is kind of putting the access back in the hands of people for food justice. So making sure that everybody can get to healthy food and can afford it.
It's that message that's at the heart of Berkeley, California-based Farm Fresh Choice, the nonprofit program behind this day-long event.
It is Just Us for Food Justice. It is gathering and uniting young leaders doing parallel work, urban agriculture, food systems change, leadership, food justice.
We do a lot of work in our community around food justice and around ensuring food equality in the community.
17-year-old Cad Anthony Smith and program co-manager Gerardo Marine say a big part of it is understanding where food comes from. So that meant a little field trip to the farmers market.
So I'm curious to know how many people in this group like to cook.
They're visiting the nearby market to meet some of the farmers up close and in person, to learn about how they farm and what it means to grow sustainably.
It's worth the extra money because you're getting food that not only is fresh and free of chemicals and stuff, but it's gonna taste better, and really you're gonna prevent sickness, because she says she's been around long enough and she sees that the food that is sprayed with chemicals, it makes the people that are working in the field sick and the people that are eating it sick.
Not even a rainy day could dampen their message.
We got to meet some farmers, learn about be reminded about how labor intensive the work is, some of their challenges, and how we can partner with them to advocate for them, to help do the education to the community around the real value of supporting a sustainable farmer.
Farmers here say it's important for young people to get involved too.
Because if you guys support it now, then that's the way it's going to be in the future.
The farmer's experience was really cool. We learned about meat processing and stuff like that. We learned that you don't have to do it the industrial way and keep them in small areas. You can have cows graze grass for hours on end and then it'd be healthier for you.
I definitely think that youth from all over are very involved because they don't have any choice but to be. I definitely think that this was just a reminder that the work that we're doing is really affecting people, and that there are more people like me, teenagers out there, who are interested in what's going on in their community and have something to say about it.
And these teens hope you'll have something to say about it too.
Get out there and make change in your community. Listen to what you think needs to be done and go out and try and make it happen.
Now it's time to taste all their hard work. On the menu, homemade pizza, any way you like it. But at the end of the day, these guys are enjoying more than just good and new friendships at these tables. They're also learning a lasting lesson about bringing more sustainable food to everyone's table.
Food is a right, and even if you think that you're getting healthy food, you need to check what you're eating. And if people say, well, that's just the way it is, or that's all we have, you need to question that and take the power of your nutrition and your food into your own hands.
It's time to open up our Eco-Lingo dictionary.
And today we got C for compost. Compost is really very simple. It's the ultimate recycler. It's basically organic waste matter, like food and plants, that has been turned back into nutrient-rich soil.
It happens in nature every day. But compost can be created in your backyard or on a commercial scale for farms.
Put the right organic ingredients together, make sure it has some moisture, and let the microorganisms take over. They break the waste down, creating nutrient-rich compost to grow healthy, happy plants.
Compost. Know your eco-lingo and be a part of the solution.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Eco Company. Thanks for watching us.
For more information on the stories in the show, or to give us your feedback, check out our website at eco-company.tv.
And check us out on Facebook. We'll see you next time
on Eco Company.